Big O versus Kimber Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't remember. Oh, big old Oscar Robertson.
yeah.
Hey, I can't go back that far to see Big O in college. I only heard.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said I can't even judge that one. I know the legend, but I see Kimber was great in college. I watched that. I remember saying that.
Yeah, I just watched one of their old games a couple of weeks ago. They played Pittsburgh, the old Big East tournament.
Mm. And they had who else they had on there? They had I think
Shabazz Napier.
Diana Taurasi versus
Oh, they going for women too, huh?
yeah, they had women there too versus D Wade. They had Luau Cinder versus Shaq.
For real, Lou Alcindor might be the one though.
There.
Oh yeah.
It's that pick, because he was Luau in college and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Who beat him?
That's what I want to know.
Player of the years and all that stuff. Who beating him?
I don't know if it was them. I think they won 88-1, man. They didn't lose a game in like 4 years or something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, so any kind of way he ain't the top guy, something ain't right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, gentlemen? This is Dre.
Yo, Dre in the building.
Good.
What's up?
Hey.
We got everybody. Hold on. Let me get. I'm going to dashboard. All right, I'm about to go to the dashboard and copy. Um, so we will be streaming to YouTube.
Oh shit! You made me a drink.
Oh, that's how you doing it?
Yeah, I thought that was Kool-Aid to match my grub.
I'm about to make me a drink. That's what sound about right.
Oh, you gotta make a drink. Drink, huh?
All right, so we are streaming to YouTube yet. I haven't cut over Facebook yet, but usually I have everything blocked. So I just got. Let me go over to Facebook.
Hey, Dre.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Can't really see your face, brother.
Nah, oh, is that a dark skin joke?
That's you behind a light.
I'm tired of y'all light skinned brothers, man. Y'all get on my nerves.
You got to go outside, man. There we go.
Go outside. It is fun. I gotta make sure the lighting is right. I ain't gonna lie.
Nathan.
Look, I didn't want it to be an imposter. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Let me rearrange my seat.
What? I'm coming in a second.
Nate still on?
Yeah, you can't see me?
Nah, hold up. I gotta do something.
You on the back of him, Joe. He disappeared from the front screen. You can.
All right, I switched my gallery. I can see everybody now. I just don't have a big picture.
I'm gonna hook the iPad up, see if I can get everybody. Oh man, this joint will have a song.
Let me go one here.
All right, come on. Get the food. Come on, get to it.
try to get your MacBook?
Yeah, I was trying to use the laptop.
Oh, okay.
I mean, iPad. I'm ready though. I'm gonna stay on this one. See, whoever not using their phones though got to be on the internet. The so we see what people commenting. So, because if we using our phones, we can't be on that during the same time.
Let's
So
see.
you saying we shouldn't use our phones?
You can. It
Just
doesn't
whoever
really
not
matter.
using their phone, make sure they work the page a little harder because so there's gonna be a couple of us probably that don't have that's not using our phones.
Let me.
I'm gonna have my drink on the side. And
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let me.
see if I can pull up 2 apps. It's just one app, so I can pull it twice at once.
I got everything.
Thank you.
All right. I think everybody's set. We got preview. Everybody set?
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So just give me a little quiet time. I'm gonna play the music and I'm gonna go live to Facebook in about 10 seconds.
you got back there, John? Oh, my bad.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
How's it going?
It's going, man.
Can you hear me? Sports Talk Live for the culture. We're here doing a little different format. We got a virtual show today, trying to connect everybody up as we are under these quarantine times. Jonathan's over there doing something I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, why you got a background like that, man? What's going on?
It got everything going on over there.
I'm in San Fran, baby. I'm just enjoying the
How you do that?
We got Andre Hayes joining. This is Dre. How's it going, Dre?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
We got Nate Mason, Nate G's Music. How you doing?
What's up? How you doing, brother?
Good. We got Duke up. How you doing?
I thought I was frozen. It looks like I'm back now.
Jonathan, how you doing there, man?
I'm alright, I'm enjoying the weather. It's California weather.
You cool? You out there? You all over the place. I see you over there. So we got the sports scene has kind of been shut down, doing with the quarantine time. So we said, look, let's get together. Let's do this thing virtually. We're going to attempt to do this out. So be patient with us. So how are you guys, Doug? How have you been coping with this COVID-19, man?
Man, I ain't even know what's been going on, man. I've been in another world, brother. But
That-
this was all a shock to me. But I'm good.
yeah, good, good.
Good with it.
Dre, how you making out?
Surviving, man. I'm getting over the whole shock of no live sports. And I had to be mature about it and think, it could be a lot of worse things going on. So, and I put everything in perspective this week, and I'm good.
Cool, cool. Nate, how you making out?
Hanging out cool, just without no basketball, no nothing. Look, I went on a run hitting down D-Ware Park, so they kind of cut my bread off. I'm kind of pissed right now. I was having a gambling streak. So that being said,
That's real.
I'm mad right now, man.
Jonathan, how you making out?
Oh man, I'm making out good, man. It's all right, whether I'm still working like crazy, playing 2K though, so I've been on trying to man, trying to fill that void. Sometimes I just let the computer watch, like I'm watching a real life game.
All right, definitely. Duke, how you doing?
I'm actually doing great, man. It's I don't know if we want to use the word great at this time, but for me, it's like a time of reflection. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it is a sense of calmness now. Everything is not an actual rat race. I know me, my mind got a break because everything's crazy and I'm a private type of guy. So, but the thing that kills me is sports. That's the end all be all right there for me. It's like there's no sports because we talked about sports being therapy. So, but I enjoy the sense of calm, man.
Yeah, definitely. We have pretty much everything else is shut down. Moving forward as far as games and any interaction with the league. But what we do have is the NFL. The NFL has moved forward with the free agency. And one of the big stories in free agency has been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers acquiring Tom Brady. Uh, and that's the story. It's weird to see Tom in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer outfit, but uniform. But that's going to be the case. So Dre, kick it off. What do you think about Tom going to Tampa Bay?
I think it's gonna be weird, man. I go to you think about guys like that are associated with a particular team. They've been there. He's been there 20 years. I mean, I think of Montana going to the Chiefs. That's kind of what struck me initially, and I'm just not so sure that it's going to be this fairy tale that everybody's sort of making it out to be.
Yeah.
He is going to I guess, a decent situation. Tampa Bay has weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and their defense is not too bad. The thought is that going over to the NFC where he doesn't have to face Mahomes and the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, that might have been a better move for him. And I guess there's something to that, but I just don't think Tom Brady is Tom Brady anymore. You look at his statistics last year. I mean, it was a drastic decline. And granted, he didn't have weapons. I understand that, but it's just something. I got the sense that there was a chink in the armor and that the age started catching up to him. Not to mention, I do think Hoodie deserves some credit for Tom Brady's success, and them being apart. I'm not sure it's going to work out.
Okay. Yeah, and that's going to be the key issue. Everybody's waiting to see a 43-year-old Tom Brady without the New England system, how he's going to operate, how he's going to function. Nate, what are your thoughts on Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay?
I think it all depends on what more pieces they add. Because everybody saying they got this ready-made team. I really don't see it.
Mm.
I like Tom, just like how he was saying. It's kind of like when Montana went to the Chiefs or whatever. I'm saying it ain't like how when Peyton went to the Broncos. And I ain't saying I'm a Broncos fan, but they had so many pieces around Peyton. It's like Mike Evans ain't looked that good to me last year. I don't think a lot of them interceptions was all Winston's fault. Like out of 30 interceptions, I'd say 18 was his fault, and the other 12 was because of receivers. Like Mike Evans missed a lot of balls that he should have caught. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when it comes to Tom Brady, there him being older, him being in this different kind of scheme or whatever. It's like I don't think they're going to fail, but I'm not just that 16-1 odds. Like they're not even the best in their division. I'm still giving it to the Saints.
You still giving it to the Saints?
Still giving it to the Saints.
Definitely. Jonathan, what do you think about Brady going?
I got to agree. I got to say, you still got to give it to the Saints. And but like you said, you don't, like how Dre said earlier, he don't think that it's going to be, match made in heaven, how everybody was pointing. I don't think so either because, for one, everybody got to change up their whole style of playing. Like, so who's going to change up? Is the team going to change up the way they play? Because they're a deep ball team. We know Brady cannot throw that deep ball. He hasn't threw it in 7 years. He's a pick play guy. I'm gonna outsmart your defense player. He's gonna throw 15 yards down the field all night, right? So we 7 to 15 yards down the field. So, but they're a deep ball team. They always get the quarterbacks with the big arms so they can throw downfield. I don't think Brady. Honestly, I don't see Brady playing next year. I think he's not going to even finish this year because you got to be able to move in this game now. Like this game is different. Like you can't just sit back there and think you're going to pick defense apart. Like I don't think that's going to happen. You got to be able to at least shuffle your feet a little bit. Like Drew Brees is not a runner, but he knows how to get out the way. Like Brady's just there. Like he's not getting out the way. And so I don't know how that O-line. It's going to come down to that O-line. I don't know how they're going to hold him up. If they're going to be how the coach could keep Peyton up and how they used to keep Belichick could keep Brady up. But if not, I don't see him finishing this year. I see him getting hit and going out. Just me.
You got him not finishing.
Wow.
Nah, I see Jordan.
God, Brady carried off on a stretcher. Jeez. That would be tragic.
I see Jordan with the Wizards. I see Emmett with the Cardinals, man. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to have even how. Because if you remember, Montana was like 8-0 with the Chiefs before at first. They was rolling when he first went there. I don't see him having that kind of season at all. Like I don't see it. But hey, it's the game, and we never know, But me personally, I don't see him finishing.
Duke, what's your thoughts?
Oh, he seventh week. They gonna sit him down. He gonna get hurt, man. He old. And he played old at the end of that year. End of last year, he played old. Everybody keeps saying he's fit. 43 is 43. Like he played old last year. And when Peyton played old, he left that next year.
Yeah.
He played old. They got the ring, and he got out of there. Mm-hmm. He played old last year. Breeze didn't play old. He played old. He showed he was 43 last year. And it's the reason why people move from him. It's the reason why he didn't fight to keep him. He didn't beat Belichick this time. He got rid of GQ. He got rid of GQ. He beat Belichick last time, but he wasn't able to beat Belichick this time.
Duke, what are your thoughts on Brady and Tampa Bay?
I kind of agree with everybody here, but I can say this: Tampa Bay is not a horrible football team. Mm. We watched ourselves. They were they 7-9?
Yeah, 7-9, 8, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So at 7-9, you're right in the mix of 10-6, and us as football guys, we watch Jameis probably throw about 3 or 4 of those games away. That's what we watched. So, and that's a guarantee. We watched that. It wasn't like like he lost some games by himself. He lost some games, and I don't like to say that in team sports, but we did see him lose about 3 games last year. So with that being said, that makes you 10-6. So if you look at who's over there on the sideline, you got Arians, which we already know what type of ball game he runs, and you got Bowles as the defensive coordinator. So it's something there, right? And I believe that they said that they could have a guy like Brady to get them those 3 wins to make them 10-6. And I believe they can do that because let's be real about what they have on the offensive side. Mike Evans, nobody wants a part of him. Like, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one cornerback in the whole entire NFL that wants a piece of Mike Evans. Why? Because he's too big for him, right? And he has a combination of power and strength and finesse. So with that being said, and you got a guy like Brady, I think it's more of, is Brady surprisingly a good fit for what they want to do? Because Arians is a down the field thrower. And we've seen in the years of New England some dinking and dunking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you're going to see as much dinking and dunking from Arians. I think he's going to want to stretch that field. And
so, Doug, what's your take?
I'm a little different than everybody, man.
Able to stretch that ball down the field. And I think that's the one question mark, because Nate pointed something out. Nate said when Peyton came to Denver had everything in place. Everything. They only needed that one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tampa Bay doesn't have everything in place. So, but it should be interesting, though. It should be interesting. I like it. And I believe that Mike Evans is going to be a success. But I think it's all a part of them getting their time in and getting those reps in. Because right now, at this time of the year, there's some balls being thrown. There's some relationships being built, and that's not happening right now because of the times that we're in. So I think all that's going to come to play.
Definitely. Doug, what's your thoughts?
What you said real quick, dude. I think AB gonna go there too. I really think that's gonna happen.
That's gonna be a circus.
I think that's gonna
I don't think so, Nate.
His relationship with Arians and all that, with Bruce, from back when he was the coach there and all that. I don't
think that's going to happen, Nate, simply because he still has to go. He's going through some legalities. So, like he'll have to receive a suspension when it does happen for multiple things. So who's going to say, okay, we're going to take this guy. He's, we already know about off the field. And then you have a suspension also.
So, Duke still.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I kind of disagree with all of y'all a little bit. Would disagree with Duke to some degree. I think it's going to work out, and the reason being, like I hear Jonathan with his, where he was thinking and dunking and all of that. But I mean, who was he going to throw the ball down the field to in New England last year? And when we talk about Bruce Arians throwing the ball down the field, we're not talking about dropping back on the 50 yards down the field every play. We talking 20-yard chunks. He can throw the ball 20 yards. I mean, you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate. They got some weapons down there. They got some weapons. Their defense was all right. And I think the one thing that we sell as short is Brady, his wanting to get it done without Belichick, his wanting to shed that, well, you couldn't do it without Belichick. You know what I'm saying? So I think the 199, 199th pick of the 6th round of the draft back when he got drafted is like energized to go to Tampa and say, hey, this is what we gonna do here. And the thing about it, when you think about the past, like you said, Joe Montana, when he went to KC, they went to the AFC Championship game. He got a concussion in that game. Brett Favre, he took his team, the second team he went to the NFC Championship game, barring a Adrian Peterson fumble. They in the Super Bowl. In recent memory, when these older guys left and went somewhere else, and when I say the older guys, I'm talking about the greats, the all-time greats. When they left their team and went to somewhere else, they had success initially. And Peyton Manning being another. And hey, man, I don't see why it would be any different than Brady. You talking about what else does this guy have to do but try to win games? You know what I mean? And like I said, man, this guy, it's hard to go down the field when your best receiver is Julian Edelman working from the slot, and he's 5'9", and you got a running back in James White who's 5'9", and you know what I mean? It's not like he was playing with Josh Gordon from 2013 and he couldn't get him the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? This was they didn't have much, you know what I'm saying? And I think he recognized that, and I think the team recognized that, and they played that way last year. But I think going into Tampa with Arians, it's going to be a whole different thing. And like Duke said, a lot of games in the NFL, more games in the NFL are lost than they are won. You know what I mean? By mistakes. 30 interceptions, man, that's unheard of. Man, you know what I mean? So if Brady, if Brady only throws, say, 12 interceptions, that gotta be 4 wins right there. I mean, and you say, like you said, Mike Evans, he dropped a lot of balls that he should have caught. But I mean, after a while, when you get in the game, and you week after week after week, you're open and the guy's missing you, or you're open and he makes a bad read and throws a pick six.
Yeah, he was frustrated.
On, definitely. So I just think, man, I think Brady gonna get down there, and you got to think about what that's gonna do to the rest of the team. Like, yo, we got the GOAT right now. We got the greatest of all time. He wanted to come play with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys gonna be. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. That NFC South, there should be some fireworks down there, man. Between
I think that's the part we all leaving out.
And Tampa Bay.
Is the fact
I ain't really too worried about Atlanta. I ain't too worried about Atlanta. I like picking up Gurley or whatever, but and Bridgewater, I think that's a good move for him. I'm happy for him. He got his money, but the Saints in Tampa, man, I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm trying to be in the building for one of them games.
Exactly, because Brady's whole career, he never had to face a team like the Saints 2 times in a row. And
I agree with you.
The other teams that you just named, the Panthers and the Falcons, they might not be no powerhouse or nothing like that, but just to be the little brothers of the division, they still a better formidable team than playing the Jets and the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying?
One thing too, one thing that's a fact is by Brady going to Tampa, they just became the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? So when everybody went in to play the Patriots, it was like we got the Patriots. They was on their A game, they was giving them their best shot, and that just flipped to Tampa. So everybody on Tampa has to up their level to get used to the fact that when teams come to Tampa or they got Tampa on the schedule, they're gonna be playing it like it's a playoff game because of Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Good point. What AFC division do they play next year?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Play the Patriots, do they? That should be too good. Like, that would just be too much. I know they don't play the AFC East.
I'm looking it up
on Google right now. Yeah,
they play the Patriots next year.
Yeah,
2021. So they don't play the AFC East.
All right, okay.
This year.
Do they have to play Mahomes?
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But the other side of the question is, where do the Patriots
play Denver?
Where do the Patriots go? I mean, where do Belichick and Tom Kraft and them go? Because there's definitely a split, in the organization, and all good things must come to an end, as they say. So this came to an end. So what are your thoughts, Dre, on where direction Belichick and Kraft go?
So Brady kind of screwed them up, didn't he? Like, he probably should have left a couple of years ago, right? Yeah. And Garoppolo would have been right there for the man in waiting, right? Brady decided to hang on a little too long.
Got a chip, though.
And he did, no doubt. And so it worked out from that standpoint. But now they're kind of left without the proper succession plan that they had sort of thought. I don't know where they go. Do they go pick a free agent Cam Newton? No, I don't know. I doubt if we go Jameis, he would be looking at a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
Who's their backup? I mean, I'm not sure if they know exactly what direction they want to go in. Hoodie is probably thinking, he's probably not sweating it. He's like, I can probably win with anybody.
Yeah.
His ego, and he's like, I can throw a guy in there. Our system, we get him, get somebody acclimated to our system. We do what we do, and they can't realistically think they're gonna. I don't think you could expect them to be a true contender in the AFC. Especially with the Ravens and the Chiefs. But eventually he'll Bill will get it together and they'll figure out something. But they got some work to do. And you think about the whole prospect of whoever does come in that seat. You're coming in Tom Brady's seat, the legacy. I mean, the GOAT behind the GOAT, and it's hard for me to imagine like the weight of that and
big weight.
That they're going to get it right the first time. They might have to go through a couple quarterbacks to get it right because that's going to be big.
Definitely. What's your take, Nate? Shoot, hold on. Go ahead. Nate, what's your take?
I know you said Nate. I'm fucking you tips up my bad.
Yeah. See what happens when you get relaxed.
House. What was the question again? My bad.
I said you were focused too. We were talking about what do you think about the direction Bill Belichick and Kraft, what direction they're going? What do you?
This one I would like to see. I know he just said he don't think James will be there. I would like to see Winston in that. I would like to see Winston with the Patriots. Either him or a left field. I know not going to happen. For some reason, I want to see Matt Stafford over there. I would like to see Winston or Matt Stafford. But the direction I think they're going to go in, I think they might either go Winston or Cam Newton.
Okay.
I think because they can just sign Winston. They got to trade for Cam. So I think Cam going to probably get the short end of the stick this season. I don't know where Cam going to end up.
But you have
the
Cam.
Chargers already said they're not going to go after him. They going to keep Tyrod. They're going to go Tyrod Taylor and draft a quarterback.
Yeah,
so Tyrod going to be the Chargers starter as a day one, unless it'd be some OTAs and whoever they draft just outshining so much. But it's going to be like a Brown situation all over again. How they had Tyrod starting the first couple of weeks, and then Baker came in type thing. So whoever the Chargers draft, they gonna take Tyrod's spot. So that's why I thought Cam was gonna go to. So now I think it might be a chance for him to go to the Patriots, but I think the Patriots might end up going with James Winston. Just they kind of those stories will be even more intertwined. Like who gonna do better, the Patriots or the Bucks? Who better, Tom Brady or the Hoodie? You know what I'm saying? Who really won them 6 rings? You know what I'm saying it's different. That's gonna be the storyline.
Yeah, that's gonna be the storyline. Belichick got some rings before he got with Brady too, another place as a coordinator. Jonathan, what's your take?
Hey, I wanted to start off. I wanted to go back to that other thing about Brady. 10 wins don't get you to the playoffs over here either, baby. He got to get 14 wins. You know what I'm saying? That don't get you to the playoffs over here. He can't.
With that 17, it might though. With that new rule. Brady always the beneficiary of a new rule.
10 wins.
With that 17, they might make with 10 wins.
You're not gonna lead your division with 10 wins.
So what? They're not gonna win the division. I'm saying might make the playoffs. That 10 wins.
Not 10 wins. What Seattle had 13 wins last year.
Yeah, extra team. And
they snuck in, and they snuck in with 13.
Yeah, but I'm saying with that would have been an extra playoff thing.
Right.
They might be that team number 7 to make the playoffs, but 10 wins.
You know what? I ain't think about that. Maybe 10 wins.
I'm saying Brady always the beneficiary of a new rule. You know what I'm saying? The Tuck rule, all that other stuff.
Oh, they made this for Brady.
The Tuck wasn't new.
Yeah, they knew Brady was going. They knew Brady was going to Tampa. They know he can't beat the Saints, but he gonna get the playoffs. He gonna be team number 7. Watch.
Yeah, with Belichick, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Reason being is, you don't really need much in that division. There's nothing's going to change. It's not like the division is going to change. You really don't need much. You done showed he can get 10 wins with anybody. You know, like Dre was saying, we done watched him get 10 wins with somebody, a third string quarterback. You know, we done seen that already. So if he plugs somebody in, you know, that's serviceable, you know. It's some quarterbacks out there. It's quarterbacks is getting let go. You know, quarterbacks that's being let go. So as long as he plugs somebody in there that won't lose the game for him, I feel as though they'll be able to get in the playoffs. Now, not nothing out of the playoffs, but I feel as though as long as they get a quarterback, if you can get someone like Foles that won't lose the game, I feel as though they'll be all right.
Interesting. Foles is at the Bears.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, he made a move. We're going to talk about the quarterback moves that's been made moving out.
How about this one name that everybody's skipping over?
Who that?
Why is that? How about Mr. Jacoby Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett.
Andy Dalton, man.
Well, we come back.
I thought you said
he came from the Patriots system. Why don't he just go back?
That's an interesting returning home. You know,
to break the bank.
Yeah, you don't, and there's a spot because Phillip Rivers got picked up by Indianapolis, but can Phillip Rivers win that battle though? It'll be interesting
to see.
Dude. That's a good point.
Yeah, I would bring.
He's familiar.
They got trade for Brissett though.
Yeah,
I think we mentioned a lot of things too, man. You figure the Patriots couldn't score with Tom Brady in the pocket. So now we just gonna plug in one of these. We gotta face it. All of these guys we talking about the Patriots picking up as their quarterback are all, you know, afterthoughts. They're all guys that are being released by their team who are lesser teams than the Patriots. Most of the time they have better weapons than the Patriots, and those guys couldn't get it done. And now we're gonna send them to the Patriots with no weapons and expect these guys to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see it happening unless, you know what I'm saying, like you said, John just said we saw Belichick take a backup quarterback and they went 11-5. They did that year. But that team had just came off that 18-1 year. They had Randy Moss and Wes Welker, and they had a top flight defense. They had everything in place for them to go 11-5. And granted, that 11-5 missed the playoffs. But so we're not going to take Jameis Winston, who had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate and a nice defense and couldn't get it done, and plug him into the Patriots right now and think, oh my God, now he's going to get it done because somehow the magic of Belichick is going to stop him from throwing them oh my God balls when he's starting to get tackled. You know what I'm saying? We can't just say we can't just say that Cam. You know, we haven't seen Cam play in basically 2 years now. Is he healthy or is he done? Is his body beat up to the point where he can't get it back? And then even when he was healthy, he was never the on rhythm, you know, type of Patriots system type of quarterback that they're used to having. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, who else we talk? The only guy that I can possibly see that kind of fits their mold to me, outside of Brissett, who's not going to be free, he's not going to really be available, is Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton.
I thought you were going to say Dalton. I like Dalton to go there too. I like Dalton to go there.
But at the end of the day, Dalton couldn't get it done with a healthy AJ Green and what's the tight end name? Eifert and nice running backs. And, you know, he had a third down back with the kid from University of North Carolina that they had for a few years, and I can't think of his name. He couldn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? They had nice weapons there. So, yeah, Bernard. So now he's going to go to New England, and he's going to have, you know, N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman and I mean, maybe Josh Gordon they got rid of. Who do they have? Who do they have that now Andy Dalton, who couldn't get it done with a few studs or a few pretty good ball players in Cincinnati, he's going to go to New England and automatically now he's going to get it done. We're going to see, like you said, if we know Belichick is a proven coach. Before he got to New England, before Brady got in there, he was a proven coach. Is this kid the offensive coordinator, the one that went to Denver that failed, then took the coach job and came back? Is he proven, or is he a product of having Tom Brady?
We're gonna find all of those things out. We're gonna find about how great Belichick is. We're gonna find out how good the offensive coordinator is. We're gonna find all that out. That's what we're gonna find out. And we might find out how really good Brady is.
Well, I mean, Brady's 43. I mean, he's past his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made his mark. I mean, Brady's what Brady is. We're gonna find out is he just holding on. You know.
But see, it's a luxury as an offensive coordinator when you can call a play, and then your quarterback can walk up to the line and say, "Oh, they're in this defense. That play's not going to work. Let me switch to this play and dump it to my running back who's going to be wide open and get you 15 yards." Yeah. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
Arm talent don't make that happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's knowledge and experience, and that's what Brady has, and that's what he's going to bring to Tampa Bay. The one thing in Tampa Bay when he sits down with Bruce Arians is Bruce Arians ain't going to have to sit in that quarterback meeting room every week and say, "Look, Tom, you can't do this. We talked about this last week. You can't do this. When you see this, you got to do that." He's not going to have to do that. All he's going to have to do is say, "Hey, this is what we want to do this week. We're going to attack this guy this week. That's what we're going to do." Yeah. He don't have to do none of that other stuff that he had to do with Jameis Winston. You know, hey, when you're getting sacked, you can't just wing it over your head and cross your fingers. Yeah. You don't have to say that to Brady.
Throw the ball away. Incompletion is better than an interception.
Yeah. You know, I'll punt anything is better than an interception. You know what I'm saying?
And return back for a touchdown. The things that he's gotten caught up in numerous times.
And the thing about it is, with Brady, at the end of the day, if he's in a situation where he has to throw the ball, he's going to make sure he throws the ball to the guy that's in one-on-one coverage and give him a chance to make a play. He's not just going to throw the ball, just over his shoulder, put it in his left hand and throw it, or nothing dumb like that.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything crazy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. I'm excited actually to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got some quarterbacks up on the screen here. Teddy Bridgewater going to Carolina. What do you feel about that, Duke?
First and foremost, I wanted him so bad in Pittsburgh. I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect situation. Big Ben got one more. I need Teddy right now, and it didn't happen. But other than that, Teddy's a great quarterback. We saw him on his way before the injury. And then we also saw him when Breeze was out. So somebody's getting a great quarterback. Now, we're going to find out, about this new coach in Carolina, and we're going to find out what kind of pieces he has. But somebody's getting a hell of a quarterback. But I like it. I like Carolina. I like what they've done in grabbing him. I think they don't lose anything under the QB position. I think it's only up. I don't think they took a step back, and I don't think that they're going to find out about Teddy. I think they already know. It's just about him, looking what's around him. And right now he has a good running back, right? Now these receivers, they question marks. They've always been a question mark in Carolina. But I believe that this new coach from Baylor, I think he's bringing some new juice. And I think he's going to surround.
He also got the offensive coordinator from LSU. He had brought him aboard too.
Right, so they bringing some youth, and they bringing some youth juice, So we got to get ready. We got to keep our eye on them.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, definitely. Doug, what do you think about your man from the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, going to the Colts? Is that do you think he has a legitimate chance of being that starter?
I think he has a legitimate chance to be the starter because that's what they brought him in for. Yeah. But now when you talk about a guy that looked done to me, that was the guy that looked done to me. Yeah. That was a guy who had weapons. He had Eckler, Gordon, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. He had weapons, plenty of weapons. Now, they say the O-line was bad, but he had plenty of weapons, and they couldn't get it done. They could not get it done. It's not like they were scoring 30 and the defense was giving up 35 and they was losing. They couldn't get it done. So a guy that looked done to me, a situation that I don't think stands a chance is that one right there. I don't think that one stands a chance at all.
So you think they hold on to Brissett, Jacoby then? Because
they have to. Yeah. They have to. They have to keep him. That's why I don't think he has a chance to go to New England. Unless Phillip gets to Indianapolis and in the preseason he's just tearing it up, and they say, hey, this is the guy. I don't see it, so I don't think they'll get rid of Brissett. Plus,
That's why
Phillip
I'm
is
that
old.
1
You
year
know what I
deal.
mean? And like one thing going back to the Bridgewater thing, like you said, they got the offensive coordinator from LSU, but keep in mind that guy was with Teddy Bridgewater in New Orleans before he went to LSU, so they know what Teddy can do, what he can't do, what he is, and he to me is the opposite of Winston, where Winston has all the measurables, the arm talent, everything that he should be this elite quarterback, and Bridgewater is the guy. He's more the cerebral guy. He's not going to kill you. Yeah. And I think Carolina knows that. And you figure their best weapon is McCaffrey out of the backfield. So, you know what I'm saying? I think Carolina will be, a competitive. I don't look for them to win the division or nothing like that. I think they'll be competitive, and I'm sure they'll grab a quarterback. Teddy signed a 3-year deal, so I'm sure they'll grab a quarterback and, hope to groom him and let him take over eventually. But that's what I see happening there. But Rivers in Indianapolis, I don't really see too many good things happening there, man. He's been on the decline, and they talk about Jameis Winston with his 30 picks. Phillip Rivers, if you go back and look at his past, he's thrown a lot of game-losing interceptions, Romo-like, in last-minute drives and things like that. Absolutely. So I just don't see it, man. He's not Tom Brady. He is not Tom Brady.
Jonathan, what do you think about Foles going to the Bears? Do you think he beats out the young quarterback that had Trubisky, who's having some troubles there, to become the Bears starters? The Bears obviously want competition at the quarterback position. Do you think he wins that job and eventually is the Bears starting quarterback?
Yeah, he's gonna win that. He's gonna win that. But I want to get those to the Teddy thing. I missed that. I dislike the Teddy move. I hate it. I hate it for Teddy. Reason being is because when you're a quarterback to me and you got put on the bench and you get a second chance, I think you need to go to more of a tailor-made team for you that gives you like that. Like Foles went to the wrong team for him. Like he went and just left. Like I think you should go to a team that you can really show yourself. Like they're all rebuilding. That whole team is torn down and coming back up. So I don't think Teddy should have went there. Teddy is young. He is young. He's
what about the bag? Where does the bag come into play? Sometimes the bag makes you go to places that
Sometimes you
for sure.
The short bag can hurt the long bag though. Like sometimes
no bag is no bag.
No, he was gonna get a bag. Even if he stayed.
This was Teddy's time, man. You can't pass up a chance to be a starter and get that starter's money.
I think he should have pushed to go somewhere else. I think he should have pushed.
Maybe he did, but they gotta want you too. And maybe he did, but man, you gotta go where the money's going, man. The money they cut, the checks they cut now.
You gotta go where they're hiring, as my grandfather used to say. They hiring at the post office.
They hiring at the Carolina needed a quarterback. They clearly out on Cam. So I'm going. You talking about a ready-made situation? It's pretty much a ready-made situation for him to go in as a starter. I don't think you can ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, him as a starter, but as a team, I'm saying it's a bad.
It's one of 32.
They're rebuilding. Nothing's the same.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like for him. Yeah, there's nothing there. But he had to take what you can get. I think it was a pop. Who was beating down his door? Who was knocking down his door? You see, Jameis Winston hasn't signed with anybody. He's still out there. Cam's up in the air. They asked him to seek a trade, but who's going to trade for Cam? Because Cam, the last few years, has been, Cam. So, I mean, he hasn't played, as Doug said, and he's also been, just from your quarterback position, a little quirkiness. Let's just put it that way. From the quarterback position. So, you have to take those opportunities as they present themselves. And when they present themselves, hey, you want to start here, and here's some good starters money. Drew Brees came back to a 2-year, $25 million each year, like $50 million a year with the Saints. So that the Saints door was closed. So he basically had a short list of options, and I think he jumped on the team that wanted him. They're in a transition period. He understands that. And he can go there, start as a quarterback, and make money. I think that's the decision he took.
But with Foles, I think Foles is going to push him out. Is going to push the young guy out. Reason being is the team is so upset. You know what I mean? when you make a move and the move don't pan out, then you see these two other guys as top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that you could have had over him. That's just frustrating on the organization, and he missed a lot of balls that we know Foles would have made. Like Foles is not your best quarterback, but we all can know that Foles is going to stay in the pocket, get hit, deliver that blow, get hit, and deliver that ball where it got to be. Like we know that on Foles, So I think Foles is a much better quarterback for them than him because he just couldn't complete third downs. Like it was just like he just couldn't complete a third and short to get him off to keep the chains moving like so many times. It was just bad out there for him.
Yeah. So are they bringing Foles in to be the starter, or are they saying just for competition?
They're saying quarterback competition. I don't know if they're bringing him to be the starter, but they definitely want competition at the quarterback position. Trubisky, you got to be that GM and those people are under fire. You passed on the eminent quarterback of this generation, and then you passed on Deshaun Watson, and you moved up to go past both these guys, giving up draft capital. And so you're really on the hot seat. He got to find something.
Week 4 or 5, I see Foles in the mix.
That could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I
definitely agree with that. Like, I used to love betting on this past season, betting against the Bears, and that been the last game I needed to win the pool because I knew Trubisky wasn't going to come through. I'm about to make a bold statement because I don't think Foles is going to do too good either. I got the Bears being phony this year and getting Trevor Lawrence the next draft.
Oh wow! Maybe don't pass on that. Maybe somebody else. Maybe somebody they see now.
They're gonna get it Bears, man.
They're gonna get it right.
Bad. 16. He got them doing real bad that they getting Trevor.
Are they gonna just tank? You think?
Like you got bad, man. Wow. They gonna do bad, man.
Yeah.
Trubisky or Foles, they gonna get it done, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
They gonna look. It's gonna be like a Cincinnati situation when they took Dalton out and put the young boy in to put Dalton right back. They gonna take Trubisky out with Foles in, then take Foles out.
Wow.
You remember?
They gonna have a bad season, man.
Y'all remember Arizona was doing that with the 2 quarterbacks each series they had another one coming in. They was rotating them.
Yeah.
The Cardinals did it.
I think they did with my main man. That was Jake Plummer they was going with, right?
No.
That's Plummer.
Plummer was on the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was way back when.
No, it was a guy from USC. I think the quarterback from USC and
the guy who's hurt. He played for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I forget who won the first Heisman Trophy.
And maybe Kurt Warner. I don't know who else. I can't remember who they was doing it with, but they was doing it with 2 quarterbacks. They were rotating.
Kurt was the man for them. I don't think Kurt took them to the Super Bowl. But the other interesting thing that happened was the trade. DeAndre Hopkins was traded from Houston. Houston said he's one of the.
That was a dumb trade.
And basically, they got a running back who's had some knee problems, and they're going to swap picks. Minnesota for Stephon Diggs got way more than what they got for DeAndre Hopkins. What do you think about this move, the trade, and was it a Chip Kelly, I don't get along with this guy personality-wise, let me move him type of move? As in the pros, I'm not really not cared about your personality. Like I may not want to have a drink with you, but you're a great player, and we need great players to win.
I think it's the first one. I don't like Bill O'Brien. I think Bill O'Brien is a cancer to the team.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that good of a coach. I think he's one of those people that think he know everything, and it's like my way or the highway, and your way ain't that good. So y'all going to a highway that's doing reconstruction. Y'all about to drop off the ledge. Like the team not that good. It's been times when the division should have been won by a landslide, and y'all barely winning the division. Like. They need to change coaches, man. Like it's over. As the great Thaddeus Kirkland said, your time is up, chump.
So, Doug, what do you think about this situation here with the movement?
Yeah, I think it had to be something more to that. You don't give up a guy like Hopkins with years left on his contract. I mean, he's been essentially like the best receiver in the league in the last few years. And him and Watts has been the lone bright spot on the team.
Yeah.
Watts been hurt. You got guys have been hurt all over the field, and those two guys have been the one consistent. Give him up, and then you get a running back who everybody said had a terrible contract already, and you take a running back with the terrible contract who's been injured. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, David Johnson, last year he missed a bunch of games with an ankle injury, I think, or a knee. The year before that, he missed a ton of games with a wrist injury. He got hurt in the first game of the year with a wrist injury and was out. So I just don't see where this makes any kind of sense for Houston with DeAndre. Now, it'd be one thing if DeAndre Hopkins was in the last year of his deal and they knew he was going to hold out or something like that, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't that guy. You know what I mean? He's not the outspoken guy. We've never seen any sideline outbursts out of this guy. We've never seen anything but really just solid play. And so it had to be more to it than just.
You think there was any validity to the report that Michael Irvin gave about?
I think so.
I think so. D-Hop kind of backtracked a little bit, but I watched it when Michael Irvin clearly said, Mike Greenberg asked him, he's like, yo, you're saying that Bill O'Brien brought up, Aaron Hernandez and then talked about his baby mamas and like that really happened. And Mike like straight face was like, yeah, this is what he told me. I mean, when you say something else had to be there, I mean, this sounds like that could have been a legitimate story.
I mean, I know he's quiet. I think so. I mean, I know he's Dexter serial killer quiet, but I don't know if you want to be Hernandez. The cat just never came across that way to me. I think you're right, Dre.
I mean, because on the surface it makes absolutely zero sense. None. I mean, I can see if you're getting back a franchise left tackle or
somebody
franchise corner or something of that. You get back a running back, an injured running back with a bad contract. Yep. That makes no sense. And to me, it's just I really just don't understand it, especially when that Arizona is trying like hell to get rid of this contract. They picked up Drake last year, and Drake became the guy with David Johnson there. So you already see they going with Drake. It's no secret that they going with Drake. We trying to get rid of David Johnson, and you not only take the bad contract. Like if this was the NBA, the Cardinals would have had to give up a whole lot to get David Johnson off of their books. Somebody else. But essentially, they just gave up David Johnson. They won the trade. That makes no sense.
What about a long shot? Let me tap in on what you just said too, Doug. Like, you might have run the tape back for this soon because me and Jonathan was talking on a show one day. I don't know if it's week 12, week 13, somewhere in that area. And I told him, I said, they got to win this season. Because Doug was saying that, that since day one, the Niners was going to be, something to reckon with this season, right? Remember you were saying that? And I was saying, I like the Cardinals for the future. They just pushed the fast forward button on that. The Cardinals, look, like how you said they got Drake, right? Remember, before they got Drake, Edmonds was tearing it up. So they still got Edmonds. They got Drake and Edmonds in the backfield. Now you got Fitzgerald, who still do something on the field at his old age. You know what I'm saying? You got Hopkins. And I love Christian Kirk. Like, so you got these 3 receivers, these 2 running backs, and this up-and-coming quarterback. That division gonna be crazy this year, man. I like the Cardinals to make the playoffs this season, or at least be knocking at the door.
Speaking of,
that's before the Hopkins trade.
That was
now they got Hopkins too. I like it.
Before let's talk about the division for instance. The Gurley move. The Rams released Gurley. He's picked up by the Atlanta Falcons, I believe. And now the Atlanta Falcons, 10 of their 11 starters are offense or first round picks. If you go take a look at their 11 starters on offense, 10 of them are first round picks. And now you have Gurley. So the key is, what do you guys think about the Gurley release and the key for you getting your money when you can get it and making sure you get that bonus money?
Yeah, I think if you have a kid, and they playing running back right now, you might want to switch him to receiver or corner.
And unless he's that guy. I mean, unless he's just that guy, and you go and you hold on, and you get that money, and you make sure you get that bonus money. I mean, that Gurley thing, that thing just unraveled so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, they go from the Super Bowl, he gets his money. I mean, and then he has the knee injury, and then it just. And then they're playing the other running back more. Say that again.
Who was the knee injury against? It was a game where he got hurt, right?
No, he has arthritis.
Yeah.
He has arthritis in his knees.
He still ran for a lot against the Cowboys in the playoff game and other guys. But
still had 800 yards last year and 12 touchdowns. So for the price they got him for, I think it's a good pickup, 1 year deal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for the Falcons, yeah. I'm gonna make a bold statement right now, man. Ezekiel Elliott will be the last big money running back contract. Won't see it no more.
Do you think? Hold on. Do you think Saquon gets his second contract after Saquon?
He'll get his second contract, but he won't get a break the bank, set the market type of, because you can't pay it for that spot, because that guy could go down on the next hit. It's been proven everywhere. David Johnson would have got cut just like Gurley got cut. It's just not happening. We already know the Jets were trying to trade Le'Veon Bell last year after they just signed him.
Oh wow!
They don't want to pay these guys.
You think he come back, or you think they cut? You think he on the Jets this season? What you think about that?
I think he'll be on the Jets, because I don't think teams don't want to pay running backs $14 million.
No Steelers reunion.
I hope. I'll take it back real quick.
You gotta pay Saquon that money next year, the next 2 years. You gotta.
I think
we gotta cut Saquon that check.
Saquon the best running back in the league.
No, it's not.
On the business side is
McCaffrey, or what's called
McCaffrey,
which is guaranteed money. You can't
I'm still saying Saquon. McCaffrey a bad boy. I got him at number 2.
Saquon's been hurt. He hasn't showed
Debo Sanders from San Fran is the best running back. The receiver. Debo Sanders is the best running back in the league.
Keep your eyes on this Derrick Henry.
I didn't gonna argue that, man. Debo, man. Boy, I like Debo. I can't even argue with you. I like Debo. I like him in the draft, man. I told you y'all drafted him. I said, y'all gotta steal with that. I like Debo Sanders. I didn't go.
Derrick Henry's a franchise tag right now. Yeah. And unless McCaffrey and Saquon, they're gonna have to hold out after year 3.
Yeah.
Because running backs go to 5 years. First round running backs go to 5th year option. Right. So they're going to have to hold out after year 3. That's going to be all their leverage. But I don't see them getting that deal that they want. Like, teams, you're going to have to pay them after year 3, or they're going to hold out. And they basically going to say, hold out, man. We can't do it.
Yeah.
We can't do it, man.
So what happened? Why did Melvin Gordon's agent have him holding out? And he passed up that bread. That was the worst holdout in the history of holdouts.
I think.
I love it. We got him for the low.
He overestimated his worth. I mean, like you said, the thing about it is, it's not about being, your skills and your talent and your production. Don't get me wrong, it is about that. But then it's about the team. Like, what is your production worth to the team? So, for instance, like with Melvin Gordon, like we talked about before, when you thought about the Chargers, you're gonna think Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, and then Melvin Gordon. You're not gonna think, like I said a couple years ago, you think about the Cowboys, the first name you thought was Zeke. You know what I'm saying? You think about the Tennessee Titans right now, and the first name you think about is Derrick Henry. Melvin Gordon wasn't that. He wasn't, even though he's a good running back, don't get me wrong, he's a good running back. But he wasn't the guy that you thought about when you thought about the Chargers. So to think that he's gonna be able to sit out and demand all this money, and they not gonna be able to play or move or function as a team without him, is just absurd. Whereas we saw when Zeke wasn't in, the Cowboys really couldn't function as a team without Zeke the year when he was suspended. So he had leverage. He had leverage. Right. Derrick Henry, we see right now, based on what he did in the end of the year, if he sits out for the Titans, they're done. They're done. Right. So they're gonna have,
But that's why I said Saquon is gonna get his money. Like everything you just said, say Saquon name with that. You know what I'm saying? Like if Saquon doesn't play,
I think the difference in Saquon is, I think Saquon, we've seen enough for him to get paid. And what helps these guys, and we know, even when you're in college, when they start pairing you up with names like Barry Sanders and Emmett Smith, it helps these guys get money. Dick Vitale did it for the longest time in college basketball.
Right.
Diaper Dandy.
There's no rebounder better. There's no scorer better. Next thing you know, this guy gets drafted top 5. He can't even play.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, don't get me wrong. Saquon gonna get paid. He's that kind of talent. What I'm saying is, I don't think we're gonna see any more record-breaking, set the market type 13, 14, $15 million season running backs. That's what I'm talking about.
If it happens, I think it's gonna be after him. I think he can be the last one to do it. If anybody does it, it got to be him.
Because the league just ain't. It's bad. They just came at a bad time, man. They just came. Zeke came at a great time because Gurley got that contract, and then it was Zeke. And Melvin Gordon tried to capitalize off of that, and it didn't work for him. And now you got Saquon and McCaffrey. They could be a little different because they catch a lot of balls out of the backfield, but I just don't see guys paying running backs $14, $15 million and really like centering your team around that guy because that guy is one hit away. And if you don't have another one of that guy on the bench, then you done. And if you do got another one of that guy on the bench, then why would you pay this guy all that money?
Man, you know, listen, the same way they give $100 million to the quarterback. There ain't a lot of good left tackles out there either. You know, ain't a lot of good left tackles out there. Them DNs coming. You know
that's why Jason Peters played till he's 35 years old. He kept getting paid.
He's talking about going. They say he might go to the Bucs.
Yeah, Peters. A lot of people are talking about going to the Bucs to jump on the Tom thing. So Peters is rumored about going to the Bucs. There's been a lot of talk.
He's going to switch the right tackle if he goes to the Bucs. Though that's what they were saying.
Jason Peters is done.
I think so too.
But I think he's been done for 3 years. Past 3 years.
He gonna steal a bag though, like Phillip Rivers. He gonna steal a bag like Phillip Rivers.
That's what it's all about.
When you got a name, you always steal the bag at the end. They paying for you on hope.
Like Duke said, he's been stealing it for the last 3 years because they didn't have a replacement.
Yeah.
So, and you think about the Eagles. They just cut Peters. They lost the kid Vitae, the other tackle that would come in when he would be out or Lane Johnson would be out. They drafted a kid last year, but they don't know if he could play. So I mean, it's a shuffle, man. When you talking about this money and these prospects and not missing in the draft and things like that, it's a shuffle, man. It's a shuffle.
And definitely, the Eagles made a move. They got Slay from Detroit to shore up their secondary. They let Malcolm Jenkins go at safety. He's moving back to New Orleans. They picked up Steelers defensive tackle. What do you think about the Eagles move getting Slay? They're going to pay him $16 million like a year at corner.
Hey, Sue, hold on 1 second. Am I the only one to do Nick look high in the video?
Relax.
Hey, we don't judge on here, do we? like
you thought that was juice in my cup. Don't let the cup fool you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
since when we start judging people on this job.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little lit. You know what I'm saying?
Nate, you ain't had to give up none of that.
Yeah. I don't smoke though. I was drinking.
Look, we're in quarantine time, so you gotta do what you gotta do to get by and keep your sanity. You know, do you?
That Kool-Aid ain't coming to cup by itself. You know what I mean?
But we digress. But what do you think?
I think Eagles made a good move. You know, as much as I hate to say it, being a contender in the division, Slay was a move they had to make. They needed a lockdown corner. And this guy has been top 5 the last 3 years, from what they say. And you know, I know he gave Amari Cooper some problems. And I think I mean, perhaps that was a move they knew they needed to make. And I give them props for making it.
Yeah, definitely. They've been hot. But one of the teams that's really been hot has been the Dolphins. The Dolphins have lit up this free agent market, and I'm assuming they're going to draft a quarterback. But they have made They went out and got Dallas's cornerback and paid him $82 million.
God bless them. They can have them. All two interceptions in 5 years.
Stole a bag.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get personal. But I'm saying they can freaking have them.
We understand, Dre. We understand.
You a Cowboys fan, Dre? What? Come on, man.
Hey, man. I got a problem for you Cowboys fans. I got a problem for y'all Cowboys fans, man.
Hey,
Dre, you couldn't have told him that, man.
Hey, Dre, what do it say about Byron Jones when the Eagles paid Slay, I think, like he's averaging 16.5 and Jones is averaging 16.6 per year, but they gave up 2 draft picks to get Slay when they could have just got Jones.
Yeah.
What does that say about Jones?
Jones not a playmaker.
No.
I agree. I agree, but I don't think he. I think he's a solid player, man. I don't think he's that guy.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's solid.
A nice piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? A nice guy.
Breaking news.
Come to work every day.
Phillip Rivers just officially signed for with the Colts for $25 million.
For 1 year?
You figured
25 mil this year.
Oh, this 1 year. Wow.
Hey, Dre, you figure Byron Jones is one of them guys, like I just talked about the timing. He just so happened to become a free agent at the right time.
Yeah.
Because you figure had he become a free agent after he let Jared Cook catch that Michael Jackson pass on the sideline that playoff game for us, he wouldn't be getting nowhere near that. You know what I'm saying? But I do like what the Dolphins have done, though. I like the way they competed at the end of the year, man, with young guys, man. And just when everybody was talking that they're tanking, and for them guys, to turn around and play hard, and they actually moved on from a lot of players that probably wasn't getting with the program. Good players, and
week 1,
right? And they seem like they got better. For it. They seem like they got better for it. So I'm interested to see what the Dolphins are going to do. This I don't expect Fitzpatrick to have them in contention for anything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm interested to see them this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, so are we talking Dak? Are we gonna
bring here?
Oh yeah,
talk Dak today?
Yeah, we can talk.
All right. Well, I'll hold my bomb for that conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we got that you brought it up. I mean, you bounced it up since you brought up Dak Prescott.
Okay. Is it me, or am I the only one that feels as though Jerry doesn't want a black quarterback as the face of the team?
Oh no. Jerry's paid everybody. He don't care. Jerry want to win.
Jerry only see green, man.
Listen,
if you're, I had to start with Sunni on this.
If he was Mahomes, Jerry would have paid him. Like if Dak Prescott was Patrick Mahomes,
just not that good.
He would have got paid.
But he already did what Romo did. He's doing the same work Romo did, and Romo got his money.
No, I give you that much, but that's society. That's the world. As a black man,
I'm saying
you get 95 on the test, and a white guy get 95 on the test. You ain't get as good as a grade, even though you got the same grade. So that's all that is. I think that if Dak was on some Mahomes stuff, like how Sunni said, he would got paid.
Jerry,
I'm talking about the greatest quarterback in the game at this moment. Like you can't say that.
Well,
that's how Dak trying to get paid though. So that's the hesitation. Dak trying to get paid as if he's Mahomes.
Million, and he denied it. He denied 31 million.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for him getting every dollar he can. Don't get me wrong. But for the Jerry's hesitation is, damn, do I pay him like he's Mahomes because he's the only thing we got that's available? You know what I'm saying? And that's the hesitation. That's the holdup, in my opinion. Jerry, all he sees is dollar signs and Lombardi trophies.
And if you look at,
he worried about who getting there.
If you look at Jerry Jones's past, what players came out and said anything bad about Jerry Jones? Now they had business decisions, they had contract negotiations, all that. Those players even come back for Jerry Jones. Emmitt Smith even said for Jerry, "Hey Dak, take this money and get the back end off endorsements or whatever."
I'm not talking about a running back or receiver. I'm talking about the face of your franchise.
Well, he's gonna be the face. The quarterback. But if he has the play,
he been the face for the last 4 years.
Right.
Why didn't he bring somebody else
Right.
up? Yeah,
but he had his argument. I'm paying him peanuts. I paid him $4 million in 4 years. I
But
He
he's
paid
still been the face of the team, though.
yeah. I mean,
I paid him nothing. I paid the backup more.
he just gave him $33 million. I mean,
Yeah,
like
he signed on the dotted line.
That's
and
that's
that
today.
automatic.
That's just for the day. He forced that down his throat.
Well, it's $33
He told
million.
him, take this.
But no, it's the same thing with Kirk Cousins. Would you have given Kirk Cousins, made Kirk Cousins? The Redskins said, we're not going to make Kirk Cousins the highest paid quarterback in the league because you're not the best quarterback in the league. It's all about negotiations. Now, Dak's going to come down. He has a chance to prove himself, just like Kirk did. I mean, it's the same situation. Now, if he goes out, has another year,
a window,
and they still have
a window to get something done.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope that they'll get it done.
Dak wanted a shortened year. It all comes down to Dak wanting a shortened year.
So he can capitalize on the next cap increase.
Yeah. So it was all about and I don't blame him. He's trying to make the most money as he can make. Jerry signed on the dotted line, gave him $33 million a year to be quarterback. And if he plays again next year, he'll sign and finish the contract. They'll work something out. Jerry said $105 million guaranteed and $33 million a year.
I gotta take that.
That's what he. Now, if he hates me, anybody out there that doesn't like me and want me to be the face of anything,
I
give
want
me
them to
100.
hate me that much. Please hate me that much. I need somebody to hate me that much.
I need somebody to offer me 100.
When you guarantee me 100, we gotta, it's nothing else for you to do for me.
It's 100.
And how old is that? That's 26?
26, 27, yeah.
All right, so now quarterbacks are playing until late 30s, so I'm right back at the table in 4 years.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be another contract.
Yeah, Dak wanted to come back. Yeah, Dak wanted to come back at 3 years at the talk of the table because they got labor peace for 11 years.
But you figuring for Dak to get 105, and I think Wentz got 110 guaranteed.
108, yeah.
108. So Dak Prescott is looking at it like, dude, I won divisions. I haven't missed a game. Been to the playoffs. I got playoff wins. My numbers are better. Even though we may look at the game and think that Wentz is a better player, but on the field, QBR, all of the measurables that they use, QBR, yards, touchdowns, all this stuff, completion percentage. Dak Prescott has outperformed Wentz in golf. So why would he, if you're Dak Prescott's representative, why would you instruct him to take less money than guys that he's already outperformed? So as a player, right, when this type of we're not even talking about contract now. We're talking about guaranteed money, right? Mm-hmm. So this is just me, right? Now, Dak already established himself, right? That he's a top tier quarterback for Dallas. You know how easy it would be for me to put on the table to say, okay, well, if you short $3-4 million, I'm like, look, if I lead this team to the playoffs, let's put that $4 million in as an incentive. Mm.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people do that. Gurley did that, and he didn't get all his money right now. And when they just cut him, a lot of that guarantee when he first signed his contract, he ain't get that money because it was roster bonuses and playoffs incentives.
Yeah, if you guarantee me 105, I can negotiate that myself.
So let me say it this way to you, Duke, because we looking at it from regular working stiffs, looking at it from the outside, looking in, 105 million, that's 105 million. I can care less what this other guy get. But if you put it to your job, right, and you say, hey, they're going to pay you, $10,000 less a year than the guy that you do more than, you find out that the guy in the other school district that does what you do, that teaches the subject you teach, but he don't coach the basketball team and the wrestling team and the softball team, but he making 10,000 more than you, you gonna be like, hold up, wait a minute, pause, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna be so quick to say, I can make it up.
We talking about this. But it's something about that guarantee. It's something about that. It's something about that guarantee, man.
Hey, man.
You got to when somebody can guarantee. Because, see, the guarantee with Dak is not about incentives. That means thank you for signing the line. Here's your guaranteed money. I don't think I'll be worried about $2 million.
But see, but that's what I'm saying. Todd Gurley, we thought that about Todd Gurley. We thought he signed his contract and got $45 million. It wasn't until he got cut, then it came out that Todd Gurley only got $21 million of that $45 million because those other, like the one guy said, you got guaranteed money that as soon as you sign your name on the contract, you get that. Then you got guaranteed money that if you go outside and get hit by a bus, we only owe you this because you got to be here for 3 more years to get that money. You know what I mean? So technically, that money's not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know, just because they say they offered Dak $105 million guaranteed, was $50 million of that in roster bonuses for 2026 and 2027. That's not fully guaranteed. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they reporting to us, but that's not the case. So for Dak to not take it, I gotta believe that it was some of that going on. And another thing too, it goes both ways, right? So if they don't want to pay Dak the money that he holding out to get, they can just let him go, because if they keep franchise tagging him, eventually they're gonna end up paying him more money.
Yeah, and it's all hurting the cap. And it's hurting the cap for y'all to bring
because it's going all on the cap this year. Whatever they franchise Dak to, $33 million is going to all be on the cap this year, versus if they sign him to the 35, whatever it is that he wants, they can spread it out throughout the 4 years.
They can backload the contract. I just told motherfucker that last other day.
That's why.
And see, that's where the Eagles made out, because they didn't wait until Wentz's contract was up. They actually extended his initial contract. So in those first 2 years, he might only have been $15 million against the cap, because he was already, slated to get a certain amount of money. You know what I mean? So really, when they said it, like Wentz's deal, even though he got $110 million guaranteed, in new money, he only got like $67 million guaranteed. So, that's the game where the Cowboys messed up by not signing Dak to an extension
after the third year
before his deal was up. Exactly.
They should have came after the third year with $33 million, $103 million before Wentz and Goff got paid.
Right. Because they knew he was a starter, and he wasn't going nowhere. They could have probably got him for 28 or 29, because that would have been before Kirk Cousins signed for 30, but they didn't do it.
And Kirk Cousins got like $84 million.
At the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing where somebody can even offer you 100 guaranteed, knowing that in 3 years you can go back to the table again. Isn't that a beautiful
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be the key. I think the key with all these contracts is how much money you have up front guaranteed. And a lot of organizations don't like to do that because they have to sit that money in escrow. See, that's the whole
think about
thing.
Think about this. That's what ruined the Ravens. Remember, Joe Flacco wanted a new contract. They didn't give him a new contract. They go out, win the Super Bowl. He win the Super Bowl MVP. Now they don't have a choice but to give him a new contract. They give him the contract, and then they started chopping players left and right. They started chopping players left and right because of that. Versus where if you know this guy is your quarterback and you're not going to move on from the guy, you might as well just do it now.
Knock him out.
You might as well just do it now. And that's the one mistake the Cowboys made.
And I think the Ravens have moved on from that and done well. One of the things, and I look at teams that are in the hunt in good organizations like the Ravens, and the Ravens made 2 moves on free agency that really struck me. They went out and got Calais Campbell.
I like that.
Now, how tall is Calais Campbell? 6'7"? They go out. They go out and get Brockers. How tall is Brockers? About 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
What's the height of the Cleveland quarterback?
5'11", 6 foot.
Right. Okay. How mobile is Ben? Can he get out the pocket the way he used to get out?
No, sir.
And the Bengals will be drafting a rookie.
Yeah.
So.
The Ravens get that division again. Hands down. I think that.
But I just like the tactical, the way they went out and about.
They do. Our defensive down that bet.
Our defensive tackles win the 6'7".
For the Ravens?
Yeah.
And the Steelers win the division like we did last season.
So I'm mad at you because now you think I'm a young boy now.
No disrespect intended, my brother. No disrespect.
Listen, man, you trying to beat up on the wounded, man. Why would you?
I was just trying to tug on your fan string, see if you was gonna bite just because you was Steelers fan.
Hey, that's man. All. I'm not a new dummy, you know what I mean?
But that's definitely. But the Ravens are one of those teams that'll be in the mix, and they made I thought that move was calculated, bringing defensive tackles in at about 6'7" at height, where you're going to play against a quarterback that's under 6 foot twice a year, and definitely a rookie quarterback. You want to bring fire up the middle, and Ben is just not as what Ben used to be as far as mobility. He's going to try to throw from the pocket more. So they definitely had a calculated move when they look at the size of everything they're doing moving forward. And that's what good teams do. I mean, that's what they make those kind of moves. But yeah, and it's been definitely a tremendous access for them making that kind of stuff. But fellas, it's been real on our first virtual.
I got one thing to say real quick.
Okay, well,
I got a question for Duke. Would you take Jameis Winston to back up Big Ben this season? Behind? Would you? Yeah, as a Steelers fan, do you think that? Would you take Jameis Winston?
I sure would.
I like that. I think I know I was saying the stuff for the Steelers and with the Patriots, but I think the best fit for Jameis is to come to the Steelers.
I agree. I see. The thing about it is, the verdict is now out on what we had. Yeah. So we know for a fact with the quarterbacks that were behind Big Ben that they cannot get it done. We know that for a fact. So now they will be foolish to not be looking around at an opportunity like that. Because I think as bad as Jameson did last year, I think he's still better than the 2 QBs we had last year.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, agree. Definitely.
And you look at a team like
Jameis is going to be a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
Just
no
keep him away from the crab legs and the Uber driver.
Yeah.
He got laser eye, so he got laser eye.
Pittsburgh not a high seafood city, and they know where to go to catch an Uber at, so that might be the spot. So.
Yeah, that may be the spot to go.
Nice to see.
But hey, fellas, I'm gonna cut the live stream, but it's been good. But hold on, don't go anywhere because we're gonna start. We're gonna be live. I still want to rap to y'all. But yeah, Sports Talk Live during these quarantine times. Hopefully, we can move forward with everybody doing their part. Just all they're asking us to do is just stay away, stay out of harm's way for a little bit, and hopefully we can get this thing leveled out and stop spreading this virus, which is one of the major health things. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a sci-fi movie. But I explained. I was talking to somebody else the other day. I said they're asking this of this generation. Other generations they asked to get a rifle and go overseas and go storm beaches, and deal with bombs and stuff. And they just asking us to stay away from each other. So to keep this from spreading. So keep that in mind. It's public health for a reason. And that's why it's called, definitely. But good talking to you guys. Doug, welcome back, man. Got that face
good to be back, man.
Yeah,
good
definitely.
To be back.
We know how to find you, Doug.
The good-looking guys out doing some stuff. But yeah, so definitely. But
I didn't want to alarm the public, man, but Doug, you was going the same time that this Corona stuff was coming out, man. You got something to tell us? You want to sit in a secret lab somewhere?
Man.
You want to start a conspiracy theory?
Wow. Yeah. You never know. But Sports Talk Live for the culture. And we're out. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
On the high over there in San Fran, man. You better, be careful over there, John.
Wow. It's all right,
Took that quick flight. A little flight like $5.
Wait a minute, Jonathan. Didn't you just come from overseas, man?
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical, guys.